Welcome to today's special Independence Day episode at the Emerging Professional Series at the Coffee Corner Show powered by the Emerging India Forum TIF and a tech partner, Prime Infotech Solution. Theme is AI Armor Ambition Nikhil Agarwal Blueprint in Safer Tech. In a digital world racing ahead with AI revolution and complex cyber threats, one professional stands at the crossroads of innovation and protection. Meet Nikhil Agarwal, a tech visionary, AI architect, and cybersecurity strategist who has helped 75 plus companies shield their futures through his ventures FutureGPT, B for Breach, Aethon AI. With a career spanning over 15 years across continents and a playbook that includes AI powered transformation, regulatory navigation, and zero trust principles, Nikhil is not just protecting digital landscapes, he's redesigning them. In this episode, we dive into his hands on leadership, startup grit, and the community behind the Future GPT, India's first emerging tech ecosystem. And just now we are having up now yeah, ice-breaking conversation, and Nikhil has become Microsoft AI valued professional. That is a big achievement for an Indian. There are only 50 globally yeah, professionals who get selected every year by Microsoft. That's this independence, this special has become very special. So thanks to Nikhil. So prepare for conversation that goes beyond encryption into purpose, foresight, and the code of trust. And we also understand Nikhil as a person. So welcome, Nikhil, to today's coffee conversation episode.
Thanks, Amir and Coffee team for having me. I'm really excited about this conversation.
So let me explain you. There will be three rounds: professional, personal, and the rapid fire round where you will be in the hot seat. You have to be witty, fun, and quick. And here's your inspiration: niche marketing.
Sure.
So we want all the AI, your community people to create a niche for themselves. So that
Yeah.
will this will help. Yeah. And as we discussed, we'll do the panel discussion. Apna AI as the next industrial revolution.
Definitely.
So apna okay. So friend, I'm Line Amir Virani, hosted key conversation and legal tech evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution, author of 15 books. We help law firms, corporate legal startup SMEs with world-class technology, software licensing, and tech training solutions. So my first question, Nikhil, how has the journey shaped up, and what were the key defining moments you had?
Yeah, sure, Amir. So, like, my career technically did not started like a cubicle, like most of the professional does. It started within like a African military, fresh out of the college. I found myself in a high security environment where a lot of things like downtime and all was not a metric. It was important from a national security point of view. And that first chapter in my professional journey taught me discipline, contingency, thinking about the importance of that oops moment we talk about when it comes to cybersecurity. So I think that's what started and how I started getting into this domain.
Wow, beautiful. So let's dive deep into conversation one by one. We take up. Uh, so you have helped over 75 companies secure the tech ecosystems, Nikhil. What's the first vulnerability you look for when you're taking up a new project?
Sure. So when we talk about the vulnerabilities, like me coming from like aspects of security, I've seen many companies are looking maybe just compliance reports or maybe pen testing. There are few very common buzzwords which everybody looks at, but nobody looks at the core concepts of security, like why they are looking from a security point of view. So I always look from a data perspective. I feel that with so many vendors coming into the market and cloud and a lot of technology to support you or founders or companies, I think data is something which is very unique to each companies. And most of these companies does not know where their data is, how they are collecting, how they're storing, whether they are deleting it or not. So a lot of regulations and controls around the data is something which is very siloed. There is no visibility around it. So my first thing whenever I get into conversations with anyone in security is to understand the data flow, understand how it is being flowing within the downstream applications into their tech stack, how the trust with this data is being maintained. Is there a proper visibility or access to those particular PII information or PHI informations which are being there, which are being collected from the consumer? Because when consumer provide you data, he is trusting that you are taking care of the data, you are securing it, and you are not sharing it further. So it's similar like when you go to bank and put your money inside a bank, you trust the bank to keep it secure. So same way I feel that data is similar kind of a thing. It is like equivalent to money when it comes to a user. So I'll say that that is the first thing which I look at, I mean, whenever I'm looking any company or any conversation I get into security.
Wow, beautiful. So, Nikhil, regulatory frameworks like ISO, GDPR, HIP, AAA often overwhelm startups. How do you convert compliance into a growth strategy?
Yeah, it's always been an interesting questions, and I think you took the right pain out of it. What I feel is like compliances are always, they feel like taxes, right? We all feel that like when we pay taxes, we feel it is very painful, but until you get the refunds, right? So if you have done your calculations right, you might get a refund as well. So compliance is like the same thing. Like when you are in the process of getting compliant, it will be painful, it will be irritating, it will feel like unnecessary, but the moment you start getting the benefits of that compliance reports, when your customers start trusting, when your conversions start counting because of that compliance which you have done, I think that's where you will find the benefits of that compliance reports. And for me personally, like the compliance is one of the driver. As you know, a lot of people will not think about cybersecurity as their first priority, especially in countries which are more focused on the growth. Security might not be the first thought, it's always considered as a afterthought. So in those cases, compliance plays a very important role. The government or the regulatory bodies, they ensure that the organizations, although they are growing, but they are on a track to grow securely. And that's where the compliances like ISO, GDPR, which is around data security, HIPAA, which is around the healthcare data which has to be protected. So all these compliances become very important from the industry perspective and from a company perspective. But to ensure that these particular compliances are carried in a positive way and in a non-irritating way, if I should say, what we do or what my personal approach is, basically I try to relate these compliances with the customer promises. So each company will have their mission, vision, values set, and they will have certain promises which they are making it to the customer, right? Like maybe a 24-hour breach notice if they get compromised, or maybe maintaining the sovereignty of the data, or who is doing, who is, how they're collecting the data. So all these kind of promises which we are making into the customer, I think that's how I relate the compliances, and all these controls are translated in the way, same way. So we kind of not respect the timelines, but we are just respecting the customer promises what company is making. That's how I'm dealing with the compliances. I also start by not making policy document very complicated. I have seen personally that a lot of companies will create security policies which are 5 pages, 10 pages, 20 pages, and at the end, nobody kind of go through the whole 10 pages or 5 pages, and feels very confused because this is very tech heavy. The words are very technology heavy. A lot of jargons are being used, and it become very confusing for a non-technical people, and even sometimes for the technical people to go through those security policies. So I tend to create these policies or these documents quite concise so that people read it, understand it, and have like an actionable items out of it. It won't be just like a vague thing. Everybody knows what they need to do. There is accountability, responsibility. So rate C metrics is a very important kind of a document which I create whenever I create these policy documents, and it helps to understand what is expected out of each of them who is there. And the last thing which I look from a compliance perspective, Amir, is the automation. So I feel the more AI is coming into the picture, and with the relevance of DevOps and a lot of automation which has struck in the tech world from last 5 years, a lot of tasks in compliances can be automated. We don't have to go in a old way where we are doing a data engineer job, filling a complex checklist on Excel and then doing a VLOOKUP and all. I think that gone are those days. It's like now a lot of products are there, and not lot of ways to automate these kind of compliance, regulatory compliance audits have been there, that I think it becomes more practical to actually do it instead of just waiting at the end to not do it. That's my thought around it.
Wow. So, thank you for leading to my next question, Nikhil. How do you approach DevSec operations differently, especially with the rise of containerized environments and microservices?
Sure. So microservices, I think all the popular product companies nowadays are going into microservices. They are using microservices. You can consider it as like a castle when you are building a big new high tech cities. Every high tech city will need to have microservices so that they can communicate, they can share the resources and grow out together. This is like a smart city when you are creating a new application. If I have to say, when we personally talk about the microservice or DevSecOps approach on securing, I think few things which we do is before we build, we kind of pin the base images. We call it harden images, wherein we kind of do the hardening of these base images. We remove the unnecessary softwares or the layers which are there on the images in order to ensure that the appropriate security or the only purpose why these images exist are being used when it comes to the downstream data. There are a lot of requirements around software bill of materials in order to prove that how the software, what all different libraries are being used when we have built these different services out of the product. So those all things we take care when we are creating these microservices. We take initially in the initial phase itself, design phase itself, we do a thorough check of all these things. Other than that, what I do is to integrate the security. Coming from a security professional, I always prefer that security should be integrated. It should be by design. The left shift approach, which has been talked a lot, I fully support it, and I fully advocate that you should do that automation, and it helps us a lot whenever we are talking about DevOps, or now we call it DevSecOps. We kind of integrate the security like SAST scanning, secret scanning, automated automations around the IAC policies of the deployment. All these things are automated and built in to ensure that the security is going by design. It is not going as a compliance requirement or something. Then other controls from a deployment perspective, or from when we are going into the production, at that perspective, I think what we do is we have a proper metrics defined at each stages. So we go and follow the pipelines. Each pipeline or each stages have a preset of controls which we have defined, and that's how we go ahead and implement those in order to ensure that these services, microservices which are being deployed, have the consistency when it comes to security. Not just from a build quality perspective, but from a security point of view also, this consistency is there and a centralized visibility is there. So like normally what I say is, like, if your pipeline cannot refuse a bad build, I think your page, you should be ready to have the incidents reported. Like if you are using pager duties and these kind of things, I think you will not get much time to focus on other things if you are not building it in the right way.
Wow. So, my next question. Tell us about a security by design framework at B for breach. How is it changing the way startups approach security?
Yeah. So security by design, if I have to give you again an example, it would be like earthquake engineering. So you don't bolt on it, but you will feel the tremors when it happens. So it is really important. And I think what we do is we architect early. So whenever we are building new products or we are reviewing any new products with the customers, we focus on the designs, we focus on the architectures, we see whether the threat modeling has been done or not, whether the basic security designs from an identity perspective, access perspective, data perspective has been taken care or not. The second thing what we do is build the pipelines. So as I said, I've been a very a large advocate of automation. So I love to build pipelines which are automated, both from a build perspective, quality check perspective, and the security perspective. So all the three actions should not be dependent on a team which is doing it in a serial way, that once you have built it, then it will go through QA and the security check will happen. This will push your build cycle to maybe 3 to 4 weeks. But if you can automate all this stuff during the build phase itself, I think you can ship more new projects and new more products within the 2 week cycle with proper security, automated way. So I have always liked to build those pipelines for my customers, which ensure that they go to market fast and securely, not just go to market. And last thing which I focus is on the privacy side. So as I said, data is something which not a lot of people talks about, and it's been into blind spot for a while now. So I work with customers to ensure that they collect the needed data. It If you are going and filling or booking your train ticket, you don't have to provide your informations like passport, a passport number, or maybe your pan card, or something which is irrelevant for that particular action, right? Aadhaar card may be okay. You may want to establish your identity, but not the other informations which are unnecessary, like something which goes beyond the principles of that particular action. So I focus on that data minimization, like collecting only the data which is needed, ensuring that the data is retained only for the duration, set durations. So those kind of privacy controls is something which I personally advocate and work with the customers. I focus or tell them that move fast, but have those guardrails implemented, because speed without safety is just luck.
Wow. So, before breach also offers fractional CISO services.
Yeah.
What does leadership in cybersecurity look like today compared to 5 years ago?
So earlier, I think the leaders were firefighters and gatekeepers, if I have to say a role. And now they are like a coach and a product partner. So they are no longer kind of just doing or working in silos, but they have to partner up. So they work with the product team, they work with the engineering team, and kind of shape how the product life cycle will look like when it comes to that. So that is a big difference in the leadership which has happened. I think nowadays, if you look at the leaders, they more talk about the products, not just like the vulnerabilities which the product has. They know the functioning of the product. They can take a call whether from a business perspective this is important or not. So those kind of understanding is there. I think they focus more on the time to mitigate, not just the number of vulnerabilities which are there. So that awareness has come, that what is driving the business value. It is not necessary that 1,000 vulnerabilities are there and you stop a product to go live. I think that particular understanding of the business versus the technology space is more aware when it comes to leadership now. And they kind of have more roadmaps defined with engineering and product teams, not just within security. So it's like a cross collaboration which has been kind of came from last couple of years, which I've seen personally with the leaders in security, which is shaping and completely changing their roles now in companies.
Wow. So, let's go to your next startup with Aethon AI.
Yeah,
You are integrating AI solutions across industries. How do you
correct.
balance innovation with security in high stakes deployments?
Yeah, sure. So, like when we talk about AI, I personally consider AI like a supercar. It's thrilling, it's dangerous without brakes. So, you can do multiple things when it comes to AI. And from a security point of view, when it comes to Aethon, what we are trying to do is we are trying to balance that innovation with the security, because I personally worked into this domain, so I know what can go wrong if we are not thinking about security now. And a lot of these things we are already seeing in the news when it comes to chat gpts or all these new llm models, or ai generative ai models which are coming into the market, that these are getting trained on the personal data. They are coming with no privacy filters. A lot of these are hallucinating and giving answers which does not even exist. So these kind of things will happen if you're not thinking about the security from the start. And at Aethon AI, what we are doing is to build these guardrails. We are ensuring that you are focused on the data security. You are focusing on the principles of data security when you are adopting this AI. You are focusing on the model safety. So even if you're going with the public models or a personalized models, be it only for your company, the model safety becomes really important, and that's what we focus when we are for like working with the customers in these cases. And the last would be the governance side. So coming from the background of the compliances side, a lot of organizations are now following the compliances. Earlier there was no much compliance requirement, but now with the similar to GDPR, EU has come up with their own AI Act. US has come with their own AI Act as well. So a lot of countries and regions are coming with their own AI guidelines, and that's where I think the new projects or the new products which are going into the market, the security becomes really important, and we are helping them. So whenever you are thinking about this new innovations which are coming into the market, like you would have seen Gemini also, like Gemini got so popular when it was launched, the new, because it was the new innovation and a lot of headlines was created. But as soon as the team started looking at the security sides, the headlines turned into the wrong one. So it won't take much if you have not shifted into the right way. That's what I'll say.
Wow, beautiful. So, Nikhil, what's your take on the growing conversation around confidential computing and data sovereignty in AI ecosystems?
Yeah, I think it's a very good topic. And personally, I love this topic a lot because both these topics are quite important, and this will become more important as we progress. So, as of today, we are just talking about the AI as a future technology, next industrial revolution, what we are talking about. So, everybody is just focused on AI, but nobody has thought properly around the safe usage of AI, or like how these AI could protect the data or enhance the security when it comes to the data which this all AI being trained on. So these two technologies, the confidential computing and data sovereignty, I think these two principles will play a very key role in defining this. Confidential computing is nothing but it's like a compute environment which is built on a hardware enclave. So in your CPU, like in your laptops or like in your computers, servers, you have the CPUs. In the CPU chipsets itself, there is a hardware enclave or a secure encrypted enclave where even the admins cannot like peek in. It's all encrypted at a hardware level itself. So that's what confidential computing is. And as you know that most of the technology teams are now moving towards cloud. The cloud adoption is increasing like anything. It's difficult to trust the cloud providers because we are not sure how they're handling the data center. I'm sure you would be hosting your website somewhere and you would be using a lot of applications like maybe WhatsApp and all. WhatsApp or Meta does not have their own data center, right? They are relying on these cloud providers, AWS, Azure, and these kind of cloud providers to secure their particular applications or databases which are stored, and these are at the end in the cloud. So you are at the end trusting a single body from a all the data which is being collected, that there is no wrong thing which is going on. I'm sure that the legal compliance, legal contracts and all those things are there in order to protect and feel that yes, nothing is going wrong, but technically still there are things which can go wrong, right? If I'm not looking from a legal point of view, I'm saying that things are possible. How and if would exist, but these are possible. So confidential computing could be a solution where even those cloud owners or the data center owners cannot do anything in that particular computes in those databases. That could be an answer for those cloud infrastructure deployments through confidential computing. Hence, I'm very positive about this technology. I personally worked for almost 3 years in this technology, so I know the importance. All the big techs are shifting towards this technology, so I'm quite geared up about this technology. Plus, data sovereignty. Sovereignty is basically from a region perspective or country perspective, they want to protect their data and keep their data within their country. They don't want that data of India is going and traveling to Europe and is being traveling to US, and similarly vice versa. They don't want the data to be traveling outside their regions, and that's where the data sovereignty come into the picture. That the storage or the data should remain at the source location. If the consumer is in Europe or is in India, the data should also remain there. The data exchange should not happen just like anything. So hence, like when we talk about these applications like Facebooks, WhatsApp, Instagrams, all these different applications which are accepted globally and have a global user base, the data should not reside into a single country. It should follow that data sovereignty principle, that all the consumers data of India should rely and should just be staying in the Indian geographies. So that is what these principle follows. And I think if we are properly architecting these principles in AI, like if these principles are married to AI properly, I think we are in a very good position where we can say that privacy is not just a promise, but we can actually know how we can make this fulfill, like how we actually do this.
Wow. Okay. Another interesting question. AI security is still a gray zone for many leaders. What myths do you find yourself busting most often in boardrooms?
Yeah. So yeah, again, like very good question. And this question, like myths around AI is so many, and a lot of people have their own misconceptions around the AI part. One of the myth is just like people feel that AI is just like a software, like just like another software. They don't know that it's a technology, not a software. So that big difference between what is a software and what is a technology is something which is a very big gap. And that's, I think, sometimes we have to aware the boardrooms or the leaders around it. Another is that people feel that okay, let's use AI now and we can save it later. So that mentality where the security is still an afterthought with these new technologies like AI as well is something which is a very big myth. I don't feel that is like once you have gone to market without thinking about security, I think you are in a place where things might go really really wrong. So I don't advise on that, and that's a lot of time we have to bring a lot of leaders to this reality. And the next thing is around the accuracy and safety. So a lot of people, leaders, think that accuracy means safety. Accuracy is safety. So I don't agree to this. I feel that accuracy is great, but there will be enough resistance for that part. Like we need to test for the jailbreaks. We need to benchmark a lot of things in order to come and conclude that this is safe. Accuracy cannot be equals to safety. That's like a big myth which we need to burst when we come to like boardrooms or these kind of leadership discussion. I feel that AI doesn't just run the code, like it is like a complete experience. Sometimes like it can be wrong as well. You when you are using chat gpts or similar kind of environment, uh, there might be right and wrong answers as well, and it can be played in the both ways.
Wow. So let's come to your community, Future GPT.
Yeah.
22,000 tech minds. How did the idea take shape? What are the activities happening within the community? And what do you hope it becomes in next 5 years?
Sure. So I think it started with the couple of people coming together and just talking about sharing the knowledge. So when we started this community, we thought that there are a lot of emerging technologies. AI was not that popular that time, but still we were talking about new technologies like IoT, blockchain, those kind of technologies where we did not find a lot of subject matter experts to share their knowledge with the new people or like the practitioners which are there. So the idea was that we wanted to create a community. It started with a WhatsApp group, a meetup page where we started doing online events around these new topics. And one of us only was starting presenting and talking about the technologies, how we have worked, what are the futures or career options around it. So it started in that way, and slowly we kept on in like improving on the experiences. We took feedbacks, we improved the delivery aspects, we included more sessions, and we changed the format in a way where it is more focused on the value creation for the members. And that's how I think we ended up going and hitting a very dream number of 22,000 professional increasing. We started from Bangalore and we are now we have five active chapters in Pune, Delhi, Hyderabad, Chennai, and we are also eyeing now some international locations. We are trying to open new chapters as well. What we do is we do hands-on sessions, like hackathons, like kind of workshops on new emerging technologies like AI, agentic AI, finance, like how finance domain is using AI, how what kind of automation they are doing, how healthcare is adopting AI, and what kind of health tech from a data security perspective they might be doing from security. So we are combining AI with all the different technologies and showing what can be done by bringing founders, investors, practitioners. We are creating this bridge and creating a close community with the like-minded individuals where they are coming to help each other, not just like coming and clapping for each other. That's not what we are trying to do. And from a 5 year vision perspective, I think we are all very positive that Future GPT will become Asia's largest emerging tech launchpad. We are not just focused on the knowledge sharing sessions anymore. We are trying to bring and promote more startups. We are coordinating, working with the startup founders to come pitch their product, to find the right investors, audience to do their demos, bring the practitioners or the folks who are building new things to come and match them with the right founders or the investors. So we are doing that matchmaking where this is not just becoming like a knowledge sharing kind of a session, but it becomes more than that. We generate value out of it. That's something which we are targeting, and I'm sure that next 5 years you'll see this as one of largest launch pads of Asia.
Wow. So between B for breach, Aethon AI, FutureGPT, your community work, how do you prioritize decision making and delegation?
Yeah, it sometimes become really difficult, to be honest, because that shift of the mindset becomes really difficult, because these are three different things and altogether. So I think what is working out well for me is that I don't have to do all these things alone. I like, of course, I'm the one who is taking a lot of calls, but we have a good community where, like, we have a good team across all the three ventures. So with Before Breach, it's been 5 years into the operation. We have built a very good team who is taking care of all the aspects. With Aethon AI, although it's a new start, but still we already have a team who is well, kind of capable enough to take care of a lot of lead. And the Future GPT has a lot of leaders who are supporting us. So it becomes a bit easy when it comes to delegations. And I have a rule, like a simple rule, that if my decisions ever add 10% value, like less than 10% or 10% value in any meeting, I prefer that I don't attend them and I delegate those kind of actions. So I had these kind of benchmarks which I've created, or metrics which I've created. Based on that, I take a call whether I should be involved or not in the decision. I think with delegations and with empowering the team, I think the growth could be higher.
Wow, beautiful. So, as congratulations, कि you've become a Microsoft AI valued professional. Uh, so, tell us more about this achievement and about this program for viewers out there who can get also inspired and become a MVP.
Sure. So I think Microsoft MVP, if audience is not familiar, Microsoft has this program called MVP, where they select and handpick few of the technology professionals, advocates out of various technology, who is talking about these new technologies and sharing their experiences, kind of advocating this. And they have various categories for it, from cybersecurity, AI, development, uh, different categories, experts they select every year. And they have a very robust process to select these experts. So they look at their contributions in the last financial year, how they've contributed, what kind of impact they have created with their contribution, not just the contribution. So it's a very thorough process. And this year I applied for AI. I was nominated. It could not be like an application based kind of a selection. It has to be nomination based. So an existing MVP nominates a possible or a good prospective MVPs. So the one of my uh, peer in the network, he kind of nominated me to be a prospective MVP this year. And I shared all my deliverables, all my community work, what I've been doing for the community and in the domain of AI. And by God grace, I think Touchwood, I was selected as this year's MVP for AI domain. And my task is same, like what I've been doing last year. I want to advocate AI, safe usage of AI, and bring more people who are talking about these technologies together, and spread the awareness around this, not like in a wrong way, but in a right way.
Wow. So, my last question for Professor Journey now, Nikhil, what advice would you give to young professionals venturing into AI security and development work?
Yeah, so I think for what I suggest everybody is to be bilingual. And when I say bilingual, people get confused that okay, I should speak two languages. What? So when I say bilingual in technology, it's not talking or communication, but it's about the skills. So for example, from a security point of view, you should not just think from a security engineer perspective, but you should also look it from a attacker perspective, or like from a builder perspective. You need to have that point of view of the other party as well. Then only you will be able to do a better job. If you are having a one way like mindset based on your role, you will not be able to take a wiser decision. That's what I suggest. And that's where the bilingual part comes into the picture, that you should be bilingual. I say that you should focus on ship and break. So what is ship and break is, when you are building something, you would know how to break it. So a lot of times I feel, from a security point of view, a lot of people are just coming and just experimenting with the tools. They are trying new tools, new security things and all. They are focused on just going on to the part, not basics. So I always tell them that first build something, then you will know how to break it. So building is an important part in this journey. It cannot be this. Other thing which I find a lot of young people doing is run behind certificate. They are like, I want to do this certificate, this certificate, this certificate. Although it may feel enticing, you may want to put in your CVs and all, but as a professional, I'm saying that certificates does not prove the information or the knowledge you have. uh, I feel that you should focus more on the value, how you create the value of that particular. That can be by finding bug bounties. You might say that, okay, I have found this bugs or this particular security issues in a file which you have been acknowledged or you have been appreciated for. So those kind of things you can propose and put it in your CV, which will stand out more than any certificate any other candidate might have. Participating in the capture the flags events like hackathons and all, and showing your progress, that what you did, those are the things which will be more important for you than just running after the random certificates. I feel so. I think my suggestion is, become that rare engineer who can build both the things, like bridge that gap between the testing and building.
Wow. So let's go to the next round and understand Nikhil as a person.
Yeah.
Tell us about your family and your formative years.
Yeah, so like I've grown into a nuclear family. I'm based out of Kota, Rajasthan. You might be familiar with Kota now. It's famous because of Kota factory. A lot of people come here for studies, for their IITs and IIMs, all those kind of things. It's a study hub for India, and I got born and brought up in the same environment. I studied for my engineering as well. For me, from a family point of view, I've been blessed because both my mom and dad have been working and have supported us from the initial years, both financially and from the guidance perspective. I got access to computers very early because of them. I remember in my first year, when I was into first class, I got my first computer, and I think that shaped the curiosity out of me. My mindset it started shifting from that point of view that computers can do anything. I'm not saying that I was not playing games there, but I think it helped me to get that competitive advantage when it comes to using of that technology. So I've been like, my family has held me from an empathy perspective, from accountability perspective, because it was a nuclear family. We have been disciplined. I have seen this, like how to handle the time properly, because my mom is working for last 25 years. So all these things, I think, is what I've learned from my family, and helped me build myself, my career as well.
Wow. So let's go to your days at Bits Pilani.
Yeah.
What are your memories, experiences?
Yeah, Bits Pilani is something like, when I was getting into the domain of AI and machine learning, I thought like just watching some webinars or podcasts might not give me a good idea about this technology. It's more than that. It's not just like a fancy podcast or a two, three lines I can mug up and learn about this technology. So I had a discussion with my wife, who is also a software professional, and we thought that it would be good to maybe think about this technology seriously, and we bought both kind of enrolled for Bits Pilani MTech program. Since we are working professionals, so Bits Pilani also offer a work integrated learning program, which can combine with your works as well. You don't have to kind of have full time spent at the campus, and that's what we inclined and we did for. I think it helped me a lot personally, because the basics of this technology AI, it was beyond just using chat GPT or just fancy photo editing softwares and all. The way AI is being built, the machine learning is baked into the AI, the use cases, the mathematics behind how things are working, understanding that magic sauce which is being used. I think all those things is what helped in this MTech program at Bits Pilani, which has helped us, me personally, from a security point of view as well. And what I suggested, like when you know how to build things, you know how to secure or like hack them as well. So for me, it's been like that way. Of course, managing it with the full-time work has been challenging, like anything, and with a lot of these other areas which were going, it become more difficult. But I think sometimes you need to hustle hard, put that extra effort in order to achieve things when it's right time. So yeah,
Wow.
it helped.
So, Nikhil, when you're not building frameworks or architecting AI, how do you unwind?
Yeah, so I think for unwinding, I have found a very nice way. I'd love to travel. So we kind of have a rule where we take almost like a vacation every 2 weeks. So we have like we have a weekly planner for doing a vacation where we take a 1 weekly date, 2 weekly vacations in the city, and a monthly vacation outside the state, and 2 months vacations outside the country. So it keeps me track. We always look forward to the next vacation, the next thing in the charter. So apart from the work thing, I think this planning of the travel also keeps things being unwinded.
So, what are your travel plans for 2025?
Yeah,
The calendar.
this month end I'm going to, like, we all family is going to Georgia and Armenia. So I think it's less than 15 days now. So everybody is focused on that now.
Wow, that's impressive. Okay. So, is there a childhood memory that shaped how we approach risk or responsibility today?
Yes, it did. So as I said about the laptop, like the early access to computers, I think I remember that once I my system like break, like the blue screen of death, BSOD, which is very popular nowadays in Windows. I experienced it from the days of using Windows Vista and Windows XP, those days. So when I first saw that window
Mhm.
blue screen of death, I was like so panicked. I thought I broke something. So I remember that that experience of seeing that blue screen of death, and it
Mhm.
literally brought that jitters out of me. Like I was literally bored to death by seeing that I thought I'd maybe it's some game or something which did this one. So I started learning more, and means that time there was no YouTube data, much data or something. Even phone
Yes.
access was not there, so I could not just go to YouTube and see search that how to fix something like that. So what I did was just like I reached out to someone who has given us that computers, like some senior and family member who helped us got the right laptop, like that computer. So I reached out to him, tell him that this is what happened, and he said it's not a big deal, like it will be fixed. So of course I got relaxed, but I was curious that why he's thinking it's not a big thing. So what I did was I said him that whenever you're fixing it, let me be with you. So I spent time with him. I saw that how he's fixing it. He just had that same thing, like he just bought a CD, just fixed it, like reinstall the Windows, and kind of refixed my whole setup and all. So it was quite easy for him, but at the same time very confusing and difficult for me. But it gave me a confidence that it can be fixed. It is not something which is a rocket science. What I felt is something which is unrecoverable was actually something which was very easy. It was just like a knowledge gap which I had. So I think I took that as a learning, and I always now also when it comes to new technologies or any new challenge, I take it as like a best way to shape whenever any risk or anything comes. I feel that it might look difficult, but if I'm kind of curious and I find right ways, and now we have right resources also. Now we have YouTube and a lot of things is experts to share their knowledge as well. So it becomes much easier from that experience from childhood.
Wow. So, what's a hobby or personal passion which helps you to disconnect and recharge?
I think I would say the same, that traveling is one such. I'm into photographing as well, so I do a lot of different type of photography, from drone to DSLR to wildlife. I've been into photography since last 10 years, so that helps me. And now with the new daughter in place, so she's being my target victim for doing all the photography. So I'm using all my experience to photograph her nowadays. So I think that club with the cooking and some fitness related activities is what I'm focused more whenever time permits.
Wow. So if your friends had to describe you in one hashtag, what would it be?
There's a one only one tag which they have, that is Bania for me.
So what's that tradition or ritual in your home you never miss, no matter how hectic your schedule is?
Yeah, so I think one thing which we have is to have our first meal together. So like we generally have the breakfast kind of thing
Mm.
which we do every morning together. So I think we all try not to avoid it unless we are not there physically or something. So that is one ritual, I think.
Wow. So, okay. Uh, so what are your plans for 2025 personally and professionally?
Personally, I think I want to spend more time with my daughter. I want to kind of spend as much time as possible, and that's where I have shifted to my hometown also for this year. So that is personal level. And professionally, I think I want to keep learning new things. AI is becoming now is being accepted now. Earlier, it was more like if and else kind of a thing, but now I think people have come to a reality that they know AI is here to stay. So I want to use my knowledge around AI and security to further develop my skill sets around it, and at the same time help companies and professionals around these technologies. I don't want them to feel that what are these. I want to share whatever my learnings are there with them.
Wow. So which is the book or movie which has left a lasting impact on you?
So I remember the first one, the Ocean 11, which I saw. I think that was the first time I saw hacking or like security things in a real life. So I got very hooked up to that movie. And still I feel, and I suggest to a lot of newcomers as well to watch Ocean 11 and few of similar movies when it comes to cybersecurity, because that brings they relate that. Practical usage of security within the in like within the normal day-to-day life. It is not just a very something like Bollywood masala movies wherein you just show anything, you are cracking any digital things and all, but it's more relatable and more practical. So I feel that there has been now more new things like you were talking about Netflix series when we were starting. So one such Netflix series is Mr. Robot. So that is completely focused on cybersecurity and technical things and a lot of relatable areas, not like a fancy kind of a movies which are just talking nonsensical about cybersecurity. So I think that is another suggestion which I give it to people when it comes to watching the good content around it.
Wow. Okay. If someone wants to visit Kota,
Yeah.
what are your recommendations to check out and for food?
For food, I think there is no doubt everybody will have to try Kota Kachori. It's a one-stop solution. Everybody who comes or not comes, I always pack a big bag of Kota Kachoris wherever I travel, whenever I travel. I remember so many countries where I've taken Kota Kachori and have people tasted it. So I think Kota Kachori is something which you cannot miss if you are in Kota. And from a place perspective, earlier it used to be coaching hub. A lot of coaching was there, but it is not fun to visit as a tourist, right? So I think they are doing a good job where now there are a lot of tourist hub in Kota. So we have a riverfront. So Kota is based on a Chambal river. So it's the Chambal river passes through Kota. So complete Kota is at the bank of Chambal river. So now the Kota has called riverfront. It's an extended heritage kind of a riverfront which they have built, which is very popular and is very like it's like a theme park experience which you should not miss if you're in Kota. And it is also something called Oxy Park, Oxygen Zone. So it's like a very big park which government has created in order to balance the air quality index, and it's so big and a lot. It has been clubbed with the modern amenities. So I think it's another good place to visit if you're in Kota.
Wow. Okay. Since this is an Independence Day special episode, what message would you like to give to our viewers out there?
I say that in since this is a I think 78th or 79th Independence Day, right? So I feel that we have been into coding or like software technologies a lot, and we have so many developers. So I think deep tech could be India's next export. We have been talking about tariff wars and all. So my mantra for this year's independence is to get independence from those other traditional exports and focus on the deep tech. I think deep tech could be India's next exports to the global.
Wow. So my last one is a googly one. Describe Nikhil in one line.
Nikhil in one line. Yeah, this is definitely a good. I think I'll say that I am a curious builder and who is on a mission to innovate safely. So I think I cover almost everything. Yeah.
Wow. So let's put you in the hot seat. Your go-to comfort food.
I think it's khichdi.
One tech buzzword you wish would disappear.
I'll say AI.
Pick one to live in forever. AI utopia or digital free mountain cabin.
Uh, AI Europe. Yeah, I think.
Okay. Security audits or brainstorming AI use cases. Which gives you more adrenaline?
Okay, it's a good one and difficult one. I think I'll put as per today, I'll say maybe AI use cases
Wow. One cyber security myth that needs to die now.
that you can fix it later.
Okay. One startup you admire.
Any startup, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I think I like Perplexity. I think they are challenging the giants out there and using deep tech to do that. So I like Perplexity a lot.
Wow. Best piece of advice received.
Um, to stay focused and to keep learning.
Wow. Tea or coffee to recharge.
Coffee, always coffee.
So you're the coffee show. So you did well, Nikhil, and here's a book, Niche Marketing. So So, Nikhil, thank you for being with us today and sharing your incredible journey in this special Independence Day episode from building AI security blueprints to nurturing 22,000 strong tech community. Your clarity on topics like zero trust, DevSecOps, future of resource, sorry, future of responsible innovation has left us inspired and informed. To our viewers out there, if today's conversation made you think about your own digital armor or spark curiosity about the future of AI, you are not alone. That's, exa- that's exactly why we do this to bring you real stories, sharp minds, and conversation that shape tomorrow's professionals. So don't forget to subscribe to the Coffee Corner Show on YouTube, where there are 500 coffee speakers sharing their professional, personal journey, stories, insights, and we meet with another coffee speaker tomorrow and continue the conversation or a cup of coffee. So this week it will be Independence plus Parsi New Year plus Janmashtami. So August is celebration month. So the celebration continues at the Coffee Corner Show. Take care. Thank you, everyone.